Bing, bang, boom. It's two realest dudes in the room. Two young bloods out here working hard, hitting that grind, getting that hustle. Inspiring YouTubers. Hitting you with that thick and spicy sauce.
Oh.
On my left, right, not sure where he is right now, but King Black, how you doing, sir?
It's your boy. Nah, what's going on, my man? How you feeling?
It's all good, you know. I'm excited for us to do one of our chill sessions. Off the cuff podcast, hitting you with those raw facts right now. So should be good, you know. E3 just ended.
Yep.
That's probably the biggest thing on people's minds. It's the biggest thing on my mind. Tons of games. My wallet has definitely hidden in a bunker. It is code red. This is not a drill. Oh, my bank account.
Oh, okay. So tell me this. What is your... And you have to pick one. What is your most anticipated game that's on the horizon that they showed during E3?
Is there any
you can only pick one. You gotta pick one.
Okay, make it more interesting.
Okay.
I can only buy one.
Only buy one. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna buy a lot more than one, but
my wallet would love it if I only bought.
Well, let's say you can only buy one of the hot games they dropped during E3, and it's just like, dang, it's your last $60 for the gaming budget for forever. It's just like, what are you picking up? Everybody else move out of the way. It's just this one thing.
Even that's it's too easy. You probably already even know too. Come on.
Oh yeah?
Come on, it's FF7, man.
Really?
Yes.
Dang. No question? No contest?
No contest.
Wow.
No contest.
It's...
I didn't want to just jump right into it because...
Oh, no, man. I threw you in it, bro. We in it.
Oh, my goodness. 7 stole the okay, maybe that's a little bit... No, it's not too much to say. 7 stole the show.
Okay.
It's right up there with CyberPunk. It's right up there. Oh, those two these are the two titans right now. Cyberpunk 2077 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake got all the 7s right now. Lucky 7s. 2020 is going to be the year of Lucky 7s right now.
Really? So, you know what's weird? For some odd reason, my number one most anticipated game is basically this Breath of the Wild 2, essentially. I think it's because I haven't played the first one yet. So I think what I've kind of had in my mind, as soon as I saw it show up, I was like, ooh, yo, we can do like a double header. I could just play the first one and buy them both at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And then just... Oh,
you don't have it yet?
No, I haven't touched it at all, man. It'll be a completely pure experience. No, I haven't picked it up yet.
Not your Switch. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I picked up Octopath Traveler instead. Which is also some straight fire. That game's good.
It's straight. It's lit. Right now, yeah, Octopath is lit. That's a nice choice. But yeah, Breath of the Wild 2. I'm excited for it.
Okay.
Also, we're not sure if it's coming out next year. So
I'm pretty sure
it may.
Because Nintendo, it's interesting. The thing I will say about Nintendo is their games just work.
No, true. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's I don't foresee oh hey, it's coming out in February. JK is delayed until May. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of...
Breath of the Wild 1 did get delayed.
But did it get delayed that much?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it was originally going to come out in 2015. So it got delayed at least almost a full year, maybe not quite 2, but almost.
Wait, is that because of the... But I think that's because of the hardware, though. Like, they wanted to release it on Switch. So I don't think Nintendo Switch was out back then, was it? I don't think so.
Out back then.
Yeah.
But...
I think that was the only reason. Like, they wanted it... Because that's
the reason they didn't say it right out.
I think, yeah, because I think that was more along the lines of strategy. Because, you know what I'm saying, everybody kind of knows that Breath of the Wild was the console seller for the Switch. So it's like, you know, everybody copped a Switch for Breath of the Wild, because at the time, there wasn't a whole lot of games on Switch. But I think now that the Switch is already out and it's been tearing it up, you know?
I can't remember if it was or not.
I'm pretty sure.
It came out in March. Breath of the Wild.
Right.
The Switch may have come out around the same time as well.
I think that was just kind of a strategy thing.
But I mean, it's pretty much a similar situation as far as the GameCube and the Wii. Because Twilight Princess came out on the GameCube and the Wii U. In the Wii, I mean. That's how it launched too. You know, launched on both consoles.
Yeah, they both came out on the same day.
The Switch and
Breath of the Wild, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a launch time. Okay.
March 3rd, 2017. So yeah, I think that was more along the lines of strategy. I think the game then started working. You know, I doubt it was like you know.
I mean, the main thing it benefited from doing that was loading times.
Yeah.
Was faster on the Switch. The Wii U, I mean, because they look pretty much the same, you know.
Roughly.
I mean, you may have some frame rate differences. That's pretty much like the extent of it. You know, it's all about performance, I guess. But like, it's like, as far as like graphical quality, no, they're both good. You know, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I wasn't excited as much for Breath of the Wild 2.
Right.
Was mostly because I guess how I came away from Breath of the Wild 1, which I totally loved it playing through it, but there was just like some mechanics that I just like
didn't enjoy.
No, and I just like I actively almost like hated. It's like I understand the design and why they did this, and even changing even an inkling of it would just break the whole, you know, would break the whole game itself. Like you can't have one without the other, and that's like the weapon breaking.
Oh, see, okay, that's interesting because like I think I'm on the opposite end with stuff like that.
I'm fine with it in certain games, but like the way that they handled it, the weapons feel like they're just paper because they break so often.
And dude, that sounds like a dream come true to me, man. Games that have those type of mechanics, like I love in games where they make it to where like guns jam and shit like that, swords break, just because it adds that level of realism and differity.
But I mean, there's but
this is from a guy that like. Wait, we said what?
I said, how real is it that your sword breaks in 2 swings? Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but like 4 swings.
It depends, because actually in real life, if you hit a sword up against something that you shouldn't be hitting it up against, you can break a sword in like 2 or 4 swings. Like I mean,
oh yeah,
the representation in the game is probably like super exaggerated, but that is a real life thing that can happen.
Yeah, you can totally break a bunch of stuff in like a hit or 2 if it's going up against something that's not supposed to go up against.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it may make sense. I think because I like I like games that kind of push back. That like they kind of don't want you to beat them, or they want you to sweat whenever you play them. Like, you know, I think I talk about it all the time. I'm super duper omega fan of like the Soul series. You know, Sekiro. So it's like, because of those elements were brought into Breath of the Wild, it was like, yo, this is like my 2 favorite things, Zelda and some of these harder Dark Souls elements pushed into one game. Granted, I haven't played it, but just from the gameplay that I've seen, yeah, I'm hyped for it. So
No, yeah, and like that's was the whole meme when Zelda came out.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
like this is the Legend of Zelda, Dark Souls edition or whatever.
Basically, yeah.
But I'm fine with the pushback. Like it was hard at the beginning, but then just like every other game, you learn it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was only hard at the beginning because like Link has a different weight and responsiveness to him than he normally does. So it's like, okay, you have to get used to that. And like the physics was all different. But like once you got acclimated, it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't have the same challenge as it used to, even with the weapons. The weapon system was, it really made you feel stressed out. It did build that suspense and like urgency. It's like, oh my goodness, I gotta be careful,
Yeah.
But after I get in there, maybe like 10 hours in, 15 hours in, after having a full playthrough of like maybe 50 hours, pretty sizable game.
But yeah, that's usually how those games work. Like Sekiro, Dark Souls. I mean, once you kind of get used to it, I mean, heck, there are some bosses you fight in the beginning of the game that are debatably harder than some of the final bosses in those games.
Yeah,
so it's just
definitely. Like what's that? The Capra Demon? Oh my goodness! In Dark Souls 1.
Oh, dude, the Capra Demon. Everybody hates that fight.
Well, you're in like a 2x4 room.
Yep. And it's him and then those two dogs.
Yeah, the dog. Oh my goodness! Like, what do you do? What do you do? Oh my goodness! Yeah, like the moment you're like going up against them and like with what you have, it's like, yeah, of course it's hard.
Yeah.
But even throughout my journey through Dark Souls, the atmosphere really helped with its ambiance.
Yeah.
In the difficulty, like I always felt in danger. And I shouldn't compare Breath of the Wild to that, and I try not to. I'm not expecting to be like Dark Souls scared every single time I go down.
Right.
Anywhere I go. But it was just a point that where those the durability mechanic became before it was item management, and then it just became, I don't want to say a chore, but it's just like it turned into a tedium. And it's just like, this thing broke again, let me go grab this other sword. It wasn't about like, do I have the right sword? I do have the right sword to replace it. It's just that, okay, let me go switch real quick.
Right.
I didn't, after a while, I wasn't thinking about it anymore. The resource management, me being conscious of my resource management went down as the game went on. And when you get the Master Sword too in that game, it's, you don't have to worry about it either.
Right.
Because like it doesn't break per se, but it has like charges. So like after so many, it will say like, oh, the sword power down. You have to wait till it recharges, and it's like 10 IRL minutes, and then it's like, okay, let me go use my backup weapons until it recharges. So like I understand why they couldn't like just get rid of it or just make the Master Sword completely indestructible, because it would just break the fundamental systems in the game, and then that would just like, okay, everything falls apart at that point. Then the game truly becomes too easy, that different stuff. But
well, I mean, like how they make it and all that kind of stuff is like, I guess that's just kind of design choice at that point, because it's the Master Sword, so like, if
they can't have it break,
it wouldn't make sense at all.
Wouldn't, not at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I will say, like, its immersion was unreal. Traveling from place to place, you really felt that you were on an adventure. Like you were discovering something new every single time. And, that's something that I never, or at least maybe I wouldn't say I never felt, but like I haven't felt in a long time from an adventure game. Like it truly felt like an adventure game.
Right.
It's like, all right, well, I got to go to this town, but shoot, it may take me 20 minutes or an hour to get there. All right, let's saddle up, let's go. And you're doing this all on foot.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time, even without a horse. And like those early hours were really fun. And then like you look at the map as you start opening stuff, it's like, oh wait, is that the Lost Woods? Shoot, I know my Zelda lore. I bet you what you know is going to be over there. Let me go check that out. You know, the freedom was cool to where I can just like go wherever I want and do whatever I want. And like, okay, let me go to that Lost Woods. I know the master's going to be there, and let me go figure out the puzzle that's over there. And like, oh, once you finally get through the Lost Woods and like find the master sword, okay, you can't pick it up just yet. You know, you need to meet a certain requirement. Like, all right, let me get back out there and keep going.
Right.
And, you know, check back in and stuff. But
yeah, so like Breath of the Wild 2, looking forward to it. That's kind of my most anticipated game for me, just because I haven't played the first one. But I'm kind of planning on making that like a double header where I just play them both back to back.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, did you see any okay, so in your opinion, is this like the okay, so I feel like this is the best E3 we've had in years.
Oh,
in comparison to like I think we haven't had an E3 at this level since like PS4 was like announced and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like we've been in a like, I think the gaming drought looks like it might be coming to an end finally.
Wow, because yeah, when the PS4 was announced, they said that was the last one.
It's kind of the last E3 because I'm thinking about it, right? And
I would say 2015.
2015. What happened during 2015?
2015, we got God of War. We got Last of Us announcement. I'm pretty sure we got.
Yeah, but that was still the drought. Like there wasn't. I just remember like basically what I've felt for like the past almost 10 years, and what I've seen floating around in just modern media is like we've been in a gaming drought for like 10 years.
Whoa! Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, bro, it's been the drought for like 10 years, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
No,
yeah, man.
Adamantly go against that. What was it? 2017 was like the godsend of video game.
2017? What happened in 2017?
2017, we had no personal bias, but we had Persona, we had Horizon Zero Dawn, we had Nier, we had
yeah, but like what I remember, because so the reason even that was the drought when those came out.
And okay, I'm trying to see what's your definition of a what would not be a drought.
So what I remember back in the day is I remember there was a crap ton of stuff to play. Not 4, 5, 6 titles, you know what I'm saying? 6 big titles. There would be like 20, 30 big titles. Or maybe not even necessarily like big titles, but it's just like I feel like now with this current E3, since it basically what it looks like everybody got their shit together for this one, as opposed to the last years where it was like, oh, Sony fell off, oh, Microsoft fell off again, and it's like,
well, I mean, yeah, last year was definitely like it was like meh, because Sony, they probably shouldn't have even shown up last year either. They just said like, well, these are our games and we don't want to reveal anything else. And Microsoft, they showed a lot of games, but they showed games that are going to show up on other systems as well.
Yeah.
It didn't show any new. They announced basically Halo and Gears of War. It's like, okay, but they didn't show any footage.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know, and they just announced like, we're restructuring.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to get excited about that? Like, we acquired 2 new studios at that time. They've acquired more.
Right.
But like, they're trying to promote, first party, you know, and we're having exclusives. Basically, they're doing the Sony thing.
Yeah, and that the problem with that for me is that like when I watch E3, I don't care if y'all get 2 studios. Like I don't care. I don't care if change up your software, blah blah blah. Like I watch E3 because I want to see some games.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
like I want to see some heat coming out. I want to see some stuff that's good on every platform, not just like, oh, it's just Sony or oh, it's just Nintendo. You know what I'm saying?
So that's why you didn't like that 2015. I'm guessing because like
Yeah, that's how I felt for like the past 10 years, man. Almost 10 years.
Well, it has been lopsided. Either one person does good or no one does good.
Yeah, I miss the days of like where it's like. So, I'm sure you probably remember this, because I think were you Sony back in the day of the PS3 era and 360?
Oh, that era? No, I was definitely Xbox.
Okay, so you're Xbox. So do you remember how like if you had an Xbox and your buddy had a PS3? The guy that had the PS3 would be like, dang, man, I really would like to play Halo, you know what I'm saying? Or the guy that has the Xbox is like, dang, I really wish I could play like The Last of Us. Like, I like that feeling of wishing I had the other thing, because that's showing that both companies are doing good. Like, they're making good stuff.
All right, but
I haven't felt that in years.
Sony didn't get that feeling until like the last 2 years of the PS3.
Yeah.
You know, because the 360 dominated. Everyone had a 360. You know, you and all your buddies had a 360, and if your other buddy had a PS3, it's like, sorry, you can't hang out with us, fam.
Well, I guess that might depend on like, because I had a PS3 back then, but
You end up getting one eventually.
I wasn't involved in like gaming media and everything, because I think at the time, like, I was like, that's probably like 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more than 10 years ago. I might have been like 13 or 14 years old, so like it didn't, you know what I'm saying? That stuff didn't really matter to me. It was kind of like, I got my game, I got my system, that's all I need. Everybody else can kind of kick rocks, you know? But now, you know, I got a little bit more money, a little bit more options, you know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. I now see some potential reasons for people to get the new Xbox or get a PC to, you know, as opposed to back in the day or last few years, it's just been, if you got a PS4, don't get an Xbox because Xbox is trash. And then it's like, it used to be, don't even bother with Nintendo unless it's Smash.
Oh, no, you always, Nintendo was always the console, like, the parents would get that. If you're going to get a second console, they'll get you the Nintendo one because it was cheaper, and it was cheaper. That was the biggest thing, you know, like, okay, it's like, okay, it won't break the bank. You can have that one too. Right. You know, I come from a little bit of a different situation. So like, I had every system growing up. And it's mostly because, you know, my dad was into it too. Right. You know, so it was like, it was all cool. You know, like I didn't have to really worry about it. We got the PS2 kind of late, but we eventually did get it too. And I was like, yes, I can play FF10 now. Like I remember there was this one time, I remember when it was about to come out, and I go into, this is gonna be, let's date ourselves, Electronic Boutique. You remember that store?
Oh, EB Games?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. I feel old just thinking about it, even though I'm not that old.
Well, it's because like GameStop bought them all up when they actually had money at the time.
Yeah. R.I.P. GameStop.
Pay F for respects. But yeah, so like we were, what was it, like 1999 maybe? Probably. And we were in there, me and my dad, you know, looking at the games and stuff, and he was pre-ordering something, and I had my little like, I'm not sure what game magazine it was, but I was like looking through it, and I'm like, oh, I was so hyped up, Final Fantasy X is going to be coming out soon. Right. And we start the PlayStation, and you have a wide-eyed, bright-eyed Kehda asking the Electronic Boutique reception person, worker. It's like, hey, do you think that FF10 will come to the PlayStation? And it's like, he didn't know how to say no. Oh. It's like, I'm not sure how likely that's going to be. You know, they're really trying to do some big things with it. I mean, it's possible. Right. like, what do you say? And like, I had no recollection of what like, you know, gaming hardware was. Just like, just put it on the old things. Just so.
Well, to be honest with you, man, now that I think about it, I don't think anybody really did, because this is so 99 and like 2000. I remember very specifically that like most people still didn't even have like computers in their homes. Like people did, like a large portion of the population did, but like there's a lot of people that just didn't. And then the websites for that stuff, like gaming stuff, like was like, it was mostly non-existent unless you went on like forums. Yeah. Because I remember my dad, he would say like, he would say, my dad, I mean, it wasn't like he's out of touch with technology. He's a computer. Well, at the time, he's a computer programmer, so he understands that stuff. But he was saying that he never understood why those companies just didn't just make one console instead of just having a bunch of them. Or have one that can play every single disc. And I mean, today I understand why, and he does too. But back then, that information wasn't even like. To
them, they're all the same.
Yeah,
you know,
we had no freaking idea.
You know, these consoles are like, well, why don't they just They don't understand that it's like basically they're like car manufacturers.
Exactly.
You know, that's the setup that they, you know. So I mean, we're all more educated now.
Oh yeah, definitely. The information's a lot more accessible. We'll know if the CEO for Microsoft scratches his butt or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, but back then, like, we didn't even know it when they were releasing games. I think the only thing that told us was Game Informer magazine, or like, you ready to get dated again? We're about to see how old we are, man. You ready?
Oh dear. What's up?
Do you remember G4?
Oh my god.
Yo, G4 and Game Informer magazine, man. If you
Attack of the Show.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, what's his name? Adam Sessler.
I think
Morgan Webb. Oh wow. Yes.
Yeah, man. That's that old school stuff right there. That used to be E3 back in the day. E3 was every day after school.
Oh my god.
Man.
I think I just cracked my back. Oh, that's so old. Wow.
Yeah, man. Them young bucks, man, they got it so nice, man. G4, man. They got E3 now. They got articles that actually like they get to see they get to read interviews and see interviews from these people that make the games. Man, they got a little paragraph in Game Informer, and that's all we knew, bro.
You know, we had to spam the same trailer every single day. So this is like during Kingdom Hearts 2 hype. Okay. And I was scouting the web, and I found a site that actually had the trailer, and I just put that crap on loop and just watched it.
Yo, I used to do that too.
Over. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I literally would spend like hours watching the same crap over and over. Like, how do I have that much time? I'd be on the computer hogging it up, and I have my headphones on, jamming out the Sanctuary of Kingdom Hearts 2, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I can't wait for it.
Did you well, actually, I probably, there's probably no question you did this, because I did this. Do you remember when they first started the whole digital stuff or whatever, and you could like download a demo?
Oh,
do you remember playing like the same demo like 90 million times? Like you own the game.
Dude, okay, I wasn't hype for Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh, okay, you know? Yeah.
I had no idea this game was coming out, you know, and back then, you know, it was notorious for, you know, licensed game just to be booty, straight up booty cheeks. And then I remember just downloading it one day because, like, holy crap, look at Batman looking swole.
Yeah,
he's looking like a bamf right now. I'm like, all right, you got my attention.
Yep.
I downloaded, like, wait, did I just play the game? Like, that demo sold me. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, it literally gave you the opening segment of the game, like the first 15, 20 minutes, and it was like, yo, this was so concise and so direct and to the point.
Yeah.
It showed you all the mechanics you're gonna be doing in the game, and it's still only scratched the surface. Like, I gotta buy this game.
Yeah. Ooh. Now, there was one game in particular that has it's interesting. I could arguably say it's probably one of the best demos ever created. But it's for one of like it's
the worst games ever.
Not quite the worst game ever. It's definitely in some people's top 10.
Okay.
And it definitely put a damper on it kind of started the downhill saga of the series and of the whole franchise.
Okay, now I'm curious.
Okay, it was on PS3, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us played it. Maybe it was the demo for what is that game called? It's the Sonic game where you transform into a wolf.
Oh, yo, Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic Unleashed. That game has an amazing demo.
Oh, because it basically plays the best part of the game.
Yep, and it cuts off the part where you turn into like. The demo ends when you get to the end of the level, and you don't even transform at all, bro. You don't experience none of that.
Because they knew if you played that, you would have been like, wait, hold up,
I'm out.
Yes, I played that demo multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's so good though. Like, yes, this is a Sonic game. This is a Sonic game.
Such a good demo, man. Like
redemption from Sonic 06.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Let's reel it in though.
Okay, really. We'll get back to current E3. You won't be, can't be showing too much age, man.
But okay, one more thing.
Go ahead.
So, people are lucky now.
Okay.
E3 is open to the public. Remember?
Oh, you're right. Holy crap, I forgot about that shit. It was only for like companies and like
cool kids,
news
you can't
media.
sit with us. Yeah.
Dang, man, I forgot about that. Wow.
You talking about gated content? That was E3. It was nothing but gated content.
Oh, and back then, it was hard to even see stuff at E3 because it was like
there's no streaming.
Yeah, no live streaming. If it was recorded, like, good luck of it being on YouTube, because YouTube was like, yeah, man. YouTube was like, I mean, YouTube had a lot of videos, but like, it wasn't mainstream like it is now. Yeah.
Like if you were lucky, you were able to catch it on G4. They may show it.
Yeah,
some of it.
G4 would do like a camera angle and then show like a little something, and then they would just go back to the person, and they would just kind of talk about it.
But you had to hope that E3 landed on well, first you had to hope that you were out of school by that point. Sometimes, because it was like, it was in that gray area. You may get the short straw and have to stay that second week of June. So it was like,
and if you miss the premiere on G4 where they talk about it, you better pray for a rerun.
Right?
Because if you didn't get the rerun, you just didn't know, bro. That was it.
No, you did. There was no DVR.
Nope. And then
it's not as fully available to everybody.
So crazy thing, right? The only reason I know about Game Informer magazine and what helped me know is that I rode the bus to school, like the school bus or whatever, and there was a kid on the bus who was subscribed to it. So basically, whenever he got a new magazine, he would be sitting in his seat and we would all be hovering around him looking as he flipped through pages, and we'd be like, yo, what's that?
Yeah.
Yo, Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It was just big, huge
I was like
event.
that kid though. I had the Game Informer subscription.
Oh, you had the subscription. Yo.
Yeah,
you're living the dream, man. Holy crap, dude.
But I remember that was also during the time where I also had the Nintendo one too.
Wow.
Yeah. So I remember they used to give out posters
Okay.
And I would like rip the posters out of the magazine, and like I had a whole bunch of posters hung up in my room, just like gaming. Some of them were even games I don't even play, but I had them hung up. But like they got rid of that. It's like not cost effective or whatever. Prince of dying media, all that type of stuff. So.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sucks.
Man, I was hyped though, man. I remember just gathering around the lunch table like we were freaking a crime mob, laying out the little magazine. Like, okay, this is what we're all gonna get this game and do this and do that. Yo, you tell your mom to get this one, and we'll all come to your house so we can play.
We'll grab this one.
There's this whole strategy. This whole strategy, man. It was crazy.
Oh man, that was some fun times, man.
That was a golden age, man.
Before anything was all corrupt and everything.
Yeah, now it's all it's a lot more convenient, which is I mean that's better. But,
well, so yeah, like this one, it does bring that old feel of excitement.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I was getting at before.
Because like everyone was on fire.
Yeah,
Microsoft was on fire. Bethesda got on fire when what's her name showed up.
Oh yeah, Miss Asian Persuasion.
Yeah, basically, she basically saved the Bethesda conference.
It's so weird because like whenever she went up there and she was talking, like I found it more cringy than like cute, I guess.
Oh, dude, people, that's just right up. Weebs. I'm just gonna call you out right now, weebs, right now.
And I guess it's because like the way I looked at her, and I was like, well, wait a minute. I mean, like, I know the stereotype for the average Japanese woman is how she's acting right now to seem, because it's like it's the anime fantasy, right?
Yeah,
pretty
kawaii
woman. That's being cute, and she makes mistakes, and she's a little ditzy, and it's like it's that whole fantasy,
super
right? But there aren't really any women like that in existence. I mean, they exist, but like not really. You know what I'm saying? Especially not a grown-ass woman like her, right?
No, I will say Bethesda was smart.
Yeah, I think I felt it was cringy because it seemed like they did it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? It didn't seem very authentic.
They totally did.
Yeah.
But Keanu Reeves showing up though for the
I did not see that coming at all.
I was hype. I'm like, who would have thought?
Like, bro, Keanu is on here.
And like, this is like the best time to be a Keanu fan because John Wick just came out not too long ago,
man.
And that was good. Like, jeez,
he's
Keanu
in the
Reeves
game. Like, man, that was smart. Oh, actually, you know what's funny though? I remember GameRanks covered it, and then some people wrote some articles about it.
Yeah.
CD Project Red had talked about basically they did some spying on CD Project Red.
Yeah. And
they noticed that some celebrities, one celebrity in particular was Lady Gaga came inside the studio.
Oh, yo.
And so back then it was like maybe 2-3 months ago, everybody was like, yo, they're gonna put Lady Gaga in freaking Cyberpunk. Whatever. And it was like, because her whole aesthetic is usually more futuristic and kind of weird with her wardrobe choices.
As her peak, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so she's actually like a perfect fit. But I think they just completely because what they said was, well, we don't actually have any plans on putting Lady Gaga in the game. We may change that, but I think they hinted at, well, we do have like a celebrity appearance, and I think I completely forgot about it until I saw him come up on stage. I was like, yo, this is what they were talking about.
Oh, okay. So who knows? They were probably in talks with her.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they just didn't want to spoil anything. But
True.
No, she may be I would think she'd be a perfect fit. Just like thinking about like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like branched out in her horizons. It's like she's not just singing anymore. She sings with like a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And she's been acting now. So it's like, yeah, Lady Gaga, she can do. Nice. She's actually a cool person. Like she just seems like a true artist.
Yeah, I mean, I hate watching Lady Gaga's interviews.
Yeah,
because and this is just kind of a personal thing for me, and the way she acts is that she acts a little like she's dumb, but I know she's not.
Oh yeah, no, she's not.
And
she comes a little fragile to me too.
Yeah, she is. She seems very, very, very fragile. Like she, actually, personally, I mean, I'm a fan because I tell anybody I know, anybody that asks me about her, she's never made a bad song in her life.
No,
I can't. I mean, I challenge everybody. I'm like, okay, tell me a bad song Lady Gaga has made, and I'll be like, I'll wait.
Who's he? All of them are he.
All of them are heat. Even if you're not a fan of that style of music, it's like you can still kind of appreciate it, you know?
Truly. No, yeah, of course. So yeah, CD Project Red. I mean,
tearing it up, man.
And they're not even showing that much, but I mean, whew, the game looks good.
Oh yeah, it looks good. Looks good.
Did they say it was going to come out next year though? I feel like they're saying that it may come out late next year though.
I think that is supposed to come out like around with the PlayStation 5 and all that kind of stuff.
That's what a lot of people are predicting, just because it's like we know it's on the horizon.
Here, let me see a release date for that. Oh, April 16th, 2020. So next year.
Yo, oh, that's right, because there's literally okay. That's why I'm like, I don't understand. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to look up what 2017 launched with, because to me it feels like 2017 all over again.
Yeah.
From January up to like May, everything's front loaded.
Yeah.
You have FF7 remake coming out in that year.
Mm-hmm.
In March. Then you have CyberPunk. There's another game coming out in that window. Like first quarter is like, ugh, rip. Just truly rip. Just forget it.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And speaking of new consoles, like the Halo.
Okay.
I know people are excited for it.
I'm excited. Whew.
And it looks good.
They didn't show any gameplay, but you know.
Okay. They were like talking it up like this was, but they never confirmed it, but it felt like it was implied that it was running on the new hardware.
Right.
Because it showed up right after they talked about Project Scarlet. Even though it didn't reveal anything that we already didn't know. You know, we already knew a lot of it. It was like, you know, that the generic keynote stuff, like you have the engineers talking about what they're doing and stuff like that. Like, we already knew about this stuff. But anyway, when they were showing the footage and when they showed Chief, like, okay, all this looks good, but I'm like, this is possible to be done now, isn't it? I mean, it looked like it to me. Maybe the feed I was watching wasn't good, but I wasn't like blown away. And I know that period in gaming is kind of gone now, having giant graphical leaps.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing in that trailer said to me this is impossible already. You know.
Well, Halo. So it's weird. I think it's the... Okay. I think this is what it is. So with Halo, I think this is what I felt too whenever I saw them display it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was hyped because I immediately flashed back to Halo
First
1, Halo 2, and then I think the last one I played was 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I really flashed back hard to Halo 2.
Okay.
And it's kind of that hope that this might be the one that gets us back to 2.
Okay.
To where it's like this big like global phenomenon, because Halo was kind of like Halo 2 and Halo 1 were kind of like Fortnite is today.
Oh, of course. Everyone was playing Halo.
Yeah, man. It was just
And-
like...
Yeah, and you had the rivalry of Halo and Call of Duty.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, so yeah, totally. I know how important Halo is, and I probably don't have the same. I definitely know I don't have the same stake as like maybe you or some other people.
Right.
So I wouldn't have that sentiment to latch on to,
Right.
to get excited for it. Because I mean, it definitely, yeah. I thought like, okay, Chief is looking nice, but it didn't like blow me away, I guess.
Well, and then it's the fact that what a lot of people don't know is Halo has a amazing story.
Mhm.
Like because it's associated with being like a bro gamer type game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the work that they put into their story is like, it literally blows my mind that they don't have this huge like blockbuster movie, because
It seems like they tried, and who knows, they could still be trying, because I remember there was actually a few animes or anime-esque type things.
yeah, from their comics and all that kind of stuff. I understand.
Yeah, I think I even have. I actually do have a Blu-ray of one of the Halo movies.
Yep.
Cause like my parents like got it for me like one Christmas or whatever. But yeah, so like they do have the potential to make this like an actual juggernaut franchise, you know?
And they have like Halo could be potentially. I think they could probably make it into a TV series also. I don't think it would be good for a TV personally, because I think that would they'd hit some people that aren't in there. No, I think they have the money. I just think it would hit people that aren't their target audience. But I think because I
think so.
Well, because I'm thinking like, you know, the people that watch, like if let's say a Halo TV show, right, is on like ABC or like
okay, yeah, regular TV like that. Yeah, you know, you wouldn't put it there.
And now maybe like Amazon or maybe Netflix, but I feel
Netflix
like
probably better.
that would still be a little odd. I feel like it'd be better on like the actual big screen.
Yeah. And the reason I was saying that it may not be good on a small screen because of budget, as far as like TV budget is different from you know, big screen budget, you know?
That's true.
And I would say that I could see it more, if not Netflix, I can see it on like HBO.
I was thinking HBO, but I feel like even that demographic is kind of that's a little dicey.
Because I mean, we have stuff like Game of Thrones that's become like super niche, but then it grows mainstream, and then like I don't know, like I feel like it has the potential to be the sci-fi Game of Thrones, possibly.
Well, see, interesting thing about that is that like Game of Thrones is really not niche at all.
Well, yeah, not anymore.
No, even before. Because there's I was looking into it, but if you probably remember if I bring it up, but there are shows that are exactly like Game of Thrones, that same era and that same style, that came way before it.
Yeah.
So shows like I think like Spartacus.
And, I remember Spartacus.
Yeah, it's like those shows we all forgot about them, but they all have those Game of Thrones like drama in an olden times type feel to it, which that's always kind of been popular.
You mean like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, you know, your Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. It kind of plays on that whole D&D type thing a little bit. But Halo, it just, there's nothing else like it, which could be a good thing.
I mean, you also have Star Trek and like Star Wars. That'd be the wheelhouse that it would, I guess, be more natural in.
Yeah.
You know, it's the sci-fi opera. You know, there's a term for it, but I think that's like the closest thing I can think of right now. But
yeah, I guess, you
know what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like it's the bro sci-fi game to get them into sci-fi, because like you would normally actually wouldn't think that many people, because sci-fi is like super nerdy, you know, super geeky, but Halo definitely breaks through that boundary, you know.
Yeah.
But I think there was talks to actually make a Halo movie.
Oh yeah, I remember I think it was back when I was like a junior in high school.
Yeah.
But they just never did it. Like I think it was something about like I feel like it has something to do with like budgeting or whatever. Like I guess they were just too busy making games or something back then.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right.
And yeah, that too. Like it can't be messing around.
I mean, that was also the time where we were having other, like, remember Prince of Persia? That came out around that time, and I was so disappointed with that movie. mean, I can just tell by the trailers and stuff like what they're doing. Like, okay, I'm not even gonna watch this.
Yep.
And and Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was also a big one where like they actually it seemed like they actually did try.
Yeah.
You know, they tried to get like, okay, we're not gonna go super crazy into the story. We're gonna make our own stories. Like, okay, that actually may be smart to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's just some elements that just didn't click, and then the story itself just wasn't that good. So it's like you need to have people who are committed to the storytelling, you know?
Yeah. Well, maybe the Halo Infinite, if they can do it right, and you know they knock one out of the park and they bring us all back to, you know, Halo 2, Halo 1, just the golden age of Halo type days.
Yeah.
Then they might say, okay, you know what? You know, we're crushing it. Let's just go ahead and make the movie. Kind of like CD Projekt Red was getting Keanu Reeves. Like, you know, they knocked it out the freaking park with Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah.
So much so to where they didn't release a single game for years.
On the map.
So now they're like, you know, let's throw in Keanu Reeves because we got that money, we got that cheese, and everybody loves us. So
yeah, we got the investors.
Exactly. So maybe they need that to kind of feel more secure, kind of, sort of.
Only thing I'm also scared about is it too late?
No, I think now is the perfect time because see, they finally did it to where there is no boundaries with Halo anymore.
Well, I mean, too late as far as like public interest.
I don't think so, because the demographic that played it back in the day still plays games. That's us.
Oh yeah.
That's your like 23 all the way up to, like, if I had to guess, like currently they're probably like 34 at the oldest. Which we're the current workers generation. Like, we still, you know, we're all getting out of school or finishing up school. You know, we all have jobs and we have the money essentially.
The spending class.
Yeah. So we'll be blowing money, and so like this is the perfect time for them to come in for us, which is actually probably why we get so many remasters and reboots, because I think these companies know that. Yeah,
it's like, okay, these kids are now you know, old kids, young adults now, you know.
Yeah. Now in 15 years, I don't know if I'm be too excited about buying a Halo game. You know, I'll be thinking like, oh well, what does my son or my daughter want, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like,
oh, you're not gonna be passionate about gaming anymore?
No, not to say I won't be passionate about it. It would just be like my kids would kind of come first.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Before as opposed to now, it's like, man, it's just me, and if Mosey want a game, like, she can get herself whatever, but I'm gonna get this, and this, and this. But 15 years from now, I might be like, okay,
the little Trey needs his game. All right.
Okay, you want the PlayStation 7? Okay, yeah.
And then baby Carmen. All right, she needs her game. I guess we'll get her. Or no, actually, she needs her manga. Actually, she's gonna take after her mom.
Oh, and Joe, you want the Kim Kardashian video game? We shouldn't get it. But Dad, I really, really want it. Fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, those things would come first.
Will Kim Kardashian be relevant when our kids start getting that interest? I mean, I don't know, because
I mean, I think you're always relevant when you have money.
Because, like, remember Paris Hilton?
Well, I think, I don't think she has as much money as she used to back in the day.
But I mean, like, why? What happened? She was a reality star. She's probably like the first.
From what I remember,
reality star, I guess.
Paris Hilton and like Lindsay Lohan and, like, you know, all those stars we remember.
I don't even count Lindsay Lohan.
Oh well, I'm just thinking because she was tearing it up for a while. But
she was the thing.
Yeah, she was in all the movies. But basically, what happened with those people, they all, you know, got strung out on drugs.
Who was it? Lauren Conrad. You remember her?
I really don't. I'll probably have to see a picture of her.
If you wait, you have sisters, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is all because of my sisters. My sister, that's like her thing, you know, reality TV wheelhouse, and like I think she was on the Hills.
I see it right here. She's on like almost every season of the Hills.
Yeah, totally forgot about her. But yeah, like they're not doing anything. Like they run their course, you know.
Yeah.
They have their fame. So I'm wondering now, Kim Kardashian and that whole Kardashian family are doing it smart, because they're just, I don't even know what to call them.
Well, it's difficult for them to like get out of the mainstream media because, well, one, you know, Kim Kardashian is with Kanye West.
Yeah.
Kanye West is still making music. He's still super relevant in the hip hop culture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's that. Is Kylie related to her, right? Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
And all that? Okay, so she's involved with a rap artist that's like more of the younger generation, which is Travis Scott.
Oh yeah, Travis Scott. Yeah.
So he's super Omega relevant so it's just like he's basically filling in the gap for young Kanye because we remember young Kanye.
Oh yeah.
So Travis Scott is some person that's way younger than us. He is the Kanye West to them. So because also, they're attached to all of them, they kind of still stay relevant. You know what I'm saying?
They probably also have the benefit of social media. Those other stars, you know, they were stars, but like social media wasn't what it was back then. You know, MySpace is not going to keep your career going.
No.
So, yeah, this has definitely helped them. You know, they evolve with the times, and they're keeping up with the times. So, probably hope, but yeah, that's probably some of the reason why. But so yeah, I hope they do the Halo movie. You know, I or something. You know, I hope Halo has its big, you know, resurgence, comeback.
Yeah, I'm hyped for it, man. Every time I see Master Chief on the screen, man, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
he's
an icon. He
really good video game icon, whose face we've never seen, by the way.
Oh yeah,
even to this day.
They can never show it. I don't think it can live up to expectations, you know?
Yeah, you're probably right.
It'd be better to just leave it a mystery. It's almost like Kakashi. What does Kakashi look without his mask?
Oh no, you can actually see that.
You can?
Yeah, I think there's an episode where they show it.
Oh, I remember there's an episode where they try to take it off, but they never did. Or like he always found a way to like hide his face. Like they're just like completely memeing and trolling you throughout the whole episode.
I think it was like years ago. Like I remember seeing it somewhere. This is like a long time ago.
Now I remember like there was like this fan rendering of it.
Maybe that's what I saw back then.
And I remember seeing that on YouTube floating around.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But yeah, I guess it's kind of like that.
Let's see, what was some of the other, like we had Halo, yeah. Nintendo was pretty fire.
Yeah.
You know, they started off strong with Smash. Showing off the Dragon Quest character.
Right.
And there's this meme going around. So the big two were like was the Dragon Quest character and Banjo-Kazooie. You know, pretty big.
Yeah.
Basically, they revealed two for the West likes Dragon Quest, and then the East. No. The West likes Banjo-Kazooie. The East loves Dragon Quest.
Right.
And it's just like no one was excited for Dragon Quest over here, but everyone was excited for Dragon Quest in Japan, and then vice versa.
Going crazy for it. Oh my god, it's lit.
Pokemon also looks really good, but then now there's like the backlash going on with it after like talking with like the director, producer. You know, I don't know. People are like maybe is Pokemon getting complacent? Do you know what's going on?
Man, you know what's weird? Pokemon. All right, this is hot take. Hot take. I had this debate with a co-worker of mine. He's the Dragoon guy.
We got to give him a name.
Yeah, we're just gonna call him Dragoon guy, man. That's what we're gonna call him. But so me and him had a little debate, which we actually ended up seeing eye to eye on. But he still plays all the Pokemon games currently.
Oh, I still play too. Yeah.
Right, and I don't. So that's kind of why I bring it up or whatever. But I told him, I said, yeah, man. To be honest with you, Pokemon ended for me at being good at like Ruby and Sapphire. after all of that, Pokemon's been like a joke. And it's interesting that he kind of felt the same way. And I was explaining to him the reason why is because like I'm like, currently I look at a lot of Pokemon designs.
Yeah.
And man, they're running out of ideas, bro. they're really, really, really running out of ideas to where they're actually starting to overlap. And then yeah. There's like, because you can only, because let me see if I Google it right now. And I compare it to, okay, so currently there's like, I see like 1, 2, 3, like maybe 4 bunny type Pokemon. So it's like, it's that kind of overlap. So it's like, how many iterations? You said what?
Do you like the overlapping of species?
Yeah, well, like as far as like their design, because I mean, a bunny is a bunny. It's based off of a rabbit in real life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how many iterations of the same thing that exists in real life are you gonna make? But if I remember from those generations, especially the first generation, dude, nothing looked alike at all. Like it was its own thing. But now they've been going on for so long that they're like, Pokemon are starting to look kind of the same a little bit. And then the battle system is still kind of sort of rock paper scissors-y, but they just kind of add some gimmicks, and it's just like they won't just change the formula like at all. Even the TV show, like I mean, it hasn't changed. Like Ash is still the same freaking age, you know what I'm saying? Not to meme on that, but
I mean, there was actually, well, I will say, like, I stopped watching the anime, like, after, I guess, the 4th gen equivalent.
Okay.
And I heard that, I guess, 6th gen, X and Y, that one was actually pretty fire, because, like, it was actually competent, you know? And, like, it sucks, spoilers, if you are not caught up with the Pokemon anime, if you care. But like he gets to the finals, and it's like, oh shit, here we go.
Pretty sure you're gonna see doesn't he?
Huh?
Pretty sure he loses, right?
Yeah, he loses.
He always loses. I think I looked it up. He's only won like 2.
Well,
2 Pokemon competitions in his whole like
2 competitions that aren't actually like participation.
Yeah, he basically battled at the YMCA, like the equivalent of the YMCA.
He had the Orange Islands, was basically like the filler arc.
Yep.
You know, they haven't. It's not an actual league. Well, I mean, it's a league, but it's not what we care about. It's not from the games. So you can go win that. And then the Battle Frontier. This whole side quest from Gen 3, Pokemon Emerald. And it's like, okay, yeah, he can win that because it's nothing substantial. I mean, yeah, he won something, but I don't know. It's weird that Pokemon has the same old, you know, lessons, at least in the anime. You know, it's okay to lose. You know, it's all the best. But it's like, well, shouldn't it be also a lesson that you should do whatever it takes to, you know, seize your dreams?
Yeah.
You know, seize them. I mean, like, come on, like, let them win.
Also, like Ash never really gets like this, and this is another hot take, man. Ash always gets like some trash Pokemon. Like he gets some that are lit, right?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But like he never catches anything legendary because like legendary Pokemon are always like gods or something, and if he were to catch it, it would disrupt nature and blah 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 yada yada. The same.
I actually don't hate that.
I do
personally, because like in the games, at least, this is my own personal play style.
Okay.
I don't use the legendaries because
really?
I feel like because that feeling of being OP. It's like, oh, I don't want to just break the game with this Pokemon. And also, I've also gained an attachment with the team that I've built up to that point. Since legendaries were always like towards the end game, and by that time I have a team of 6. So it's like I'm not gonna kick someone out that who I've been with since, you know, like day 1 potentially, just for something new. I don't know. That's just me though.
Dang, man, you're better than me, man. I freaking had my line. Okay, my lineup looked like this. This is like silver version. I think it was like Fraligator.
Froggator's the best one. Yes, there you go.
Lugia. We had the red Gyarados that's in the little instance. We had Snorlax up in there because he came from the road. And then I think I threw in like some weird ones. Like what else would I use? I think the other. Oh no. I would occasionally use Lapras, which Lapras isn't legendary, but it was like
special.
Yeah, it was one of those special instance things. And then I think the last one was kind of a toss-up. Like if it was something strong that I liked, that was like useful, then I would use it. But if not, then it was like I think it was like something electric. It might have been like a is it Flaffy?
Oh yeah, Flaffy.
Yeah, I like Flaffies. Yeah, that I like Ampharos.
Okay, so yeah, my team was for Alligator. I had a Pidgeot, always catching Pidgey. Then I would have an Umbreon. So, and then I would have Ampharos as well. I would get Ampharos, and then I would have, I believe, Arcanine.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's actually a nice one in there. Okay.
And I would always wait till the very end to get this one, but Dragonite, because you can catch a Dratini like super late game. You know, the pseudo. But so yeah, that'd be my 6 right there.
That's a pretty strong lineup too.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like Lugia. He's definitely like one of my favorite legendaries. And I did use him every now and then in the Elite Four, like repeat battles and stuff. Just fun. But yeah, that's like the only legendary that I would do that with. All the other ones, I never did it because I almost feel like that they're not. I don't know. They feel overpowered, but then also like there's so many of them now too.
Yeah,
they're not
now. There's like a ton.
You know, they seem special before back then, and like that's gonna change over time because there's just gonna be more of them. Right. But I feel like they're just adding more legendaries in each generation to begin with. So it's like, okay, well, if everyone's legendary, who's actually legendary? You know, why are they so special?
Who's the most legendary?
You know, it's like, yeah, you may have the box art legendary, but then there's like 4 other legendaries with them in the same game. Exactly. So like, there's definitely a bloat problem.
So with all that, I'm gonna get Sword and Shield. Not for me. It's gonna be for Josie because she wants it.
You're not gonna mess with it.
Yeah, it'll be probably mostly something that I like watch her play. Cause she wants the shield, and I told her, I was like, baby, I'm not getting this game for myself till they come out with a Pokemon Gun. Cause that whole meme behind that is just still too funny to me, man.
Sword, shield, gun.
Yeah.
No, it's still funny. I'm surprised you wouldn't get Pokemon Sword just because like the main legendary is it's basically Sylph. Wolf Sylph with the from she likes the shield because I guess it's blue or whatever. No, the sword's blue.
Well, I think not necessarily like the
logo.
I think it's the logo, right? Isn't it blue? Like the sword's red and on the logo.
Switched.
Is it switched?
Yeah, the sword is blue, shield is red.
Okay, maybe
but both Pokemon look the same color though.
Yeah, have you seen what they look like?
Yeah,
I hate it.
Well, so that's why I was surprised that you said that they're all looking the same. I was kind of feeling the opposite, that the designs were getting way more extravagant.
Well, their designs are out of this world different, but they look like super sloppy and weird.
I mean, I feel like you could argue that with some other ones. I mean,
yeah. Well, I think I mostly have most problems with the shield faced one.
Well, yeah, it's kind of awkward. It's kind of like
it's very awkward to look at. I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know.
Have you seen the lion from Sun and Moon? Lion legendary?
Yeah.
He looks like a straight up Zoid.
Yeah, he does. Man, Zoids. Wow, I haven't heard that in a long. Holy crap, dude.
All of that's anime.
Yeah, we can't say stuff like Zoids. People gonna be confused, man. They're like, what the hell is it? That's like if we bring up Bionicle or something like that.
Oh wow, Bionicle. The edgy Lego.
Yo, Bionicle was so fucking good, man. So good.
Oh, they were dope. Bionicle. Wow.
Yo, man, you took me back. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna say it.
But yeah, so Pokemon's in this interesting situation where they haven't really been before, like actual fan backlash.
Yeah.
And because like they made it be known that like, yeah, not every Pokemon's gonna be in the game.
Right.
And it's like, why not? Me personally, I'm not that upset about it, really.
Right.
But I can empathize and sympathize with people who are, and like it's bad when even the Japanese community are bent out of shape.
That's definitely true because they don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like you really got to mess up to.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, this is actually way more important than we realize. And it's all fun and games until your favorite Pokemon's not in there.
Yeah.
So it's like so many Pokemon. There's at least one person with that Pokemon that's their favorite. Even if you don't like it. So it's like it's weird. The reason though is I think there's so much backlash because they just didn't handle it properly. Because it comes off as like they just don't want to, not that they can't.
Right.
And because people are pointing out, it's like, look, Pokemon graphically, they're still using models from Gen 6.
Yeah.
From whenever they got the first 3D models. So it's like, all right, you're already reusing assets.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? Now I talk about what's about game balancing. Well, the game was always busted competitive wise. So like, what now? Now all of a sudden you're
trying to balancing your game.
Yeah, no, that's a BS answer. So I feel like they should have just been like, look, we don't have the manpower to just do it.
Right.
Just be upfront. It's like, just be transparent. Like we don't have the time, But even there's been like some graphical comparisons, like comparing it from Pokemon Sword and Shield to Breath of the Wild, and you can like see it's like, okay, this game was up-res from like the 3DS. It didn't have any of the fine detail or fidelity that one of the early Switch tiles were doing. And okay, Zelda may be a different beast, maybe there's a little bit more love and care put into that, but the disparity between the two is so huge. Like, is this even a Switch title? Okay, if it's not a Switch title and it's still being built like a 3DS game, it should have the memory to put all of them in there. So it's not a memory issue, it's just like, it seems like it's more of a time issue, or how much time do they want to invest into it?
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like I feel like some of these companies just need to understand that some things just need to come to an end.
Just stop Pokemon?
Yeah, man, just go to the next thing. Like, because I feel like it's run its course, man. I really do.
You may think so, but then 2016 would tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Pokemon got like rejuvenated with Pokemon Go. Yo, there's never been a phenomenon like Pokemon Go.
That's true.
Got so many people back into the game. Like, because there was probably a point like, yeah, Gen 4, Gen 5, like, when we about done? Is it time to tap out? Maybe it's time to tap out. Gen 6. Oh, new system, new shiny models. Like, okay. Maybe there's still some life in there. Then after that, okay, it was just all right. It was okay.
Well,
and then, boom, Pokemon Go comes out. And then you got the movie.
Yeah.
Pokemon Pikachu movie.
Right.
Pokemon is still $1 billion company. And they're just not gonna let that go.
Well, you don't necessarily have to let it go. It's just, you just move on. It's kind of like, It's the same.
Move on to what though?
To the next thing, like it's the same thing that like the same thing with like musical artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they release an album, that album is for good artists, that album is about like a certain part of their life,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically just put the whole thing in the form of music.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they keep releasing music like that over and over and over and over and over, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay, and people will still be into it for years. But I think you don't want to ever get to a point to where your thing starts dying.
Yeah.
And I get they're doing this gimmicky stuff, like, okay, hey, movies, and then, Pokemon Go and all that kind of stuff, which is fine, you're making money, but I think from like an artistic standpoint, I think that they should just not be afraid to move on to other things.
Yeah.
Just because. Just
feel like their investors don't feel the same way, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, because business-wise, it doesn't make sense to stop doing Pokemon, business-wise. But all businesses fall.
Yeah.
All of them. They always will. There is no business that exists forever. It doesn't happen. It's not possible.
I mean, they're trying.
They're trying, but they can't. It's just not possible. The world just changes too much. It's just not a thing. But
I mean, I'll definitely say there's probably a point where they can just stop making Pokemon, like making Pokemon in general, designing them.
Well, it doesn't even have to be that. I mean, just go on to something else. Just something else. Now, what that thing is, I don't know, but I'm sure there's other things that they're passionate about that they can go on to. So let's go on to the next thing.
They may be doing that because like there is a Game Freak RPG that they're working on,
right?
Completely separate from Pokemon,
right?
And I think it's called The Town or Town and City, something like that. It's like, okay, it's this little JRPG.
Right.
May have some turn-based combat, maybe not, maybe, but yeah. So like, it's like, okay, this is the first time that we've seen Game Freak do something outside of Pokemon. So it's like, yeah, that there are interests in some things.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to necessarily just pigeonhole themselves into one thing, because I mean, we've seen it time and time again that if that thing stops becoming popular, your whole company is shattered and destroyed. Like freaking whatchamacallit, Ubisoft almost didn't exist because of them switch, like because of what's it called, Prince of Persia.
Oh, Prince of Persia is so good.
So the first couple ones were good. Then after that, Prince of Persia is just fucking, you know what I'm saying, it was trash. But then they said, okay, you know what, we're gonna do something new, we're gonna call it boom, Assassin's Creed. Now they moved on to the next thing, and I said, okay, you know what, we're going to the next thing. After, you know what I'm saying, that's a good way to keep your company going and keep things fresh. But
I almost feel like Pokemon's gotten too big for that,
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll eventually fold.
Yeah, it will.
There's no company that exists forever.
But it's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Because what if we get a super huge change in like media as far as like cartoons are concerned, where they want like, I don't know, more. Because one thing I've noticed is that there's this weird thing with cartoons today that I really, really hate. It's they're getting more trying to make them into like musicals and shit like that.
Musicals?
Yeah. Examples of that would be like Steven Universe has a lot of singing in it, like a lot of singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a lot. And Adventure Time started adding a lot more singing into it too.
I guess. I mean, even SpongeBob has some songs in it.
Well, it's not. It's. I think it's different because SpongeBob is like, it's more of a joke, but
yeah, it's a bit.
But these shows in particular, especially today, these guys are getting like they're actually like composing songs and making the characters behave like they're in like High School Musical kind of sort of type style.
Oh, okay.
And and it's a thing that I don't like because I don't like singing in my cartoon. It's just not a thing for me. But it's just like those are things that that's like a shift for cartoons to me that I've noticed. So if Pokemon is just keeping things the way they always been, and then cartoons shift, it's like, well, Pokemon will not be like the hot cartoon anymore. So then they got to rely on games. But if the gaming industry shifts, you said what?
It's not even the hot cartoon.
Well, no.
Already. I mean, Pokemon hasn't been as popular as it ever was, even back when we were kids. It hasn't reached that peak in a long time. Like, I don't think anyone's like shouting like, "Yeah, Pokemon's my favorite show." Like,
well, what I mean by that is like when those markets shift like that, then your company actually goes down because of it.
Well, I guess I'm saying that the shift has already happened, and like it hasn't hit them. I guess
it's happened in the aspect of cartoons, but it hasn't quite happened yet as far as video games. But it will. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like if video games shift and we all are into shooters, then if you don't got Pokemon Gun, bro, then you.
Well, we've already had those shifts already.
No, I mean shifts where the whole industry shifts, not like a fad like Fortnite. I mean like the whole industry changes. That's what I mean.
The whole industry changing as far as like genre?
Genre or maybe even technology or anything like that, but mostly probably genre shifts.
Because Nintendo's been able to adapt pretty well as far as technology. They've kind of been paving the way for the technology. They've been the innovators.
Right.
You know, turning a console into a handheld hybrid console or whatever.
Right.
It's the perfect system for Pokemon, you know, to get you that console experience and still get that portable experience. Which what makes it even weirder that they're not capitalizing on the hardware to its fullest by what we've seen in the screenshots and stuff. So like they may be their own downfall by being complacent, but
we see those things today. But I mean, like how your company is today does not matter. It matters what is it going to be in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Is Pokemon still going to be in it? Are they going to be able to make it past all of those big shifts, or is somebody going to have to buy Game Freak?
I don't think anyone would buy Game Freak. At least not anytime soon.
Well, we said that about GameStop.
Those are two different monsters, though.
No, back in the day, man, it was just GameStop to get games from. That was it, and nobody thought GameStop would be at the point it is today.
I mean, as far as wealth in like net worth, I mean, you would have to. You probably have to be the guy who owns Amazon to buy out, you know, Nintendo or Game Freak.
Not necessarily.
Because they are multi-billion-dollar companies.
You're looking at them today. Today they are. But in 30 years, that company may be only worth like $5 million, which I know that's hard to envision that. But
Generations now.
That's not that far away, bro. 30 years is not a long time.
That feels like a long time.
Okay, the average human lifespan is like 80. Like the average male lives for 84 years. So on average, you're gonna see 30 years happen twice. So, I mean, that's not that long. Hell, you might get lucky and you might see it 3 times. So you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's not really. It's not. I mean, it's not that far away.
It seems like it's far away because we haven't hit that yet. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, well, how old are you right now?
I'm 25.
All right, so in 5 years you'll be 30.
Okay.
So, I mean, how much have you seen the world change in your 25 years so far?
Oh no, yeah, technology has changed rapidly. We're like the fastest changing generation as far as technology and
stuff.
How
many giant companies have you seen go under or not exist anymore? Blockbuster, GameStop. You know what I'm saying? These things are like, to us back in the day, man, these were the giants of our day. But like Yahoo was the .com. Nobody uses fucking Yahoo no more.
Yahoo. I can give you Yahoo. But I guess I never.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
Instant Messenger, AIM, AOL, MySpace. These are like memes at this point to us. So, ain't nobody safe in these streets, man. Everybody, I see a lot of articles talk about like, oh yeah, companies are too big to fail, blah blah blah, yada yada. Ain't nobody safe, bro.
I'm not saying that they're not too big to fail, but I feel like if they're gonna fail, they're gonna fail because of their own negligence.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's the only reason that they could fail.
Right.
Yeah, they're set up to be successful, and it's up to them to keep themselves on that course. You know. So yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, the only time will tell. Not saying I want them to fail. I just want them to do something different so they don't. Because Pokemon, Game Freak's not a bad company. I think they're actually pretty good. It's just, mix it up, bro. That way you don't go under.
What? How old's the Pokemon company? I mean,
I think it's as old as like we are. I think.
So like, if they're just reaching their complacency now, I was like, okay, that's not bad.
No. Like, I'm not saying they haven't. Like, all of this, I'm not trying to take away from any of their success or anything like that. Because, I mean, they've been tearing it up, man, for a long, long time. And they've dipped their toes and jumped in head first into some industries that most companies would never do. Like, I don't really see a whole lot of companies that have success with video games, a cartoon, and big screen theaters, and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got their...
yeah.
Absolutely.
Toys. Oh my gosh, there's so much merchandise.
Yeah. But just because they have that success does not mean that time will not pull the rug from underneath them and they go under and stop existing. Because, man, especially today, like, companies can be gone like in the blink of an eye today. Not so much back in the day, but today it's crazy. All it would take is, like, I don't know, the CEO of Game Freak or whatever to be outed as like a child molester or something crazy, you know what I'm saying? But which is funny, but man, that's real. Like, that's all it would take.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Let's see. What are the big things when we're there?
Do you wanna? Oh, okay. How about this? We'll close it out with some 14 stuff. We won't talk about the stuff we're saving.
I mean, we didn't talk about.
Oh, what's up?
We didn't talk about 7.
Oh man.
You want to just forget about it?
Okay, you know what? Here. You know what? Actually, I read a really quick thing. That way we can, because we're trying to condense the time a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I got a hot one just for you.
Oh boy.
I read it like, I want to say 5 minutes. No, probably 10 minutes before I even called you. Like, sorry, we first started the call. All right. There's an article. Actually, let me pull this bitch up on my phone. Man. It's actually right here on my phone. Like, right now.
Oh man.
All right. It's from Polygon. It was
trash, irrelevant. They have no opinions. Their opinion fakes.
No. It wasn't necessarily their opinion on anything. They didn't give an opinion. They were just reporting on something. So Polygon, it was an article written 5 hours ago. So it's hot. Okay. It's new.
I think I know what it is. It's been trending on Twitter, but
probably so. Square Enix explains why it changed Tifa's breast size in Final Fantasy VII.
She ain't nerfed.
Yo, man. All right, tell me about it, bro. They nerfed the titties, man. Did they do it, man?
Not nerf the titties. They did not nerf the titties.
Did they pull the slider to the left, man? Is that what they did, yo?
No. That slider is locked in place. It is unchangeable. What they did is give Tifa some actual tools for her assets. They gave her a sports bra.
Okay.
So, for all of you who may not know how boobies work, they're pretty malleable. And if you take something with a lot of constriction and elasticity, they will get squashed.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, and they will become firmly and snuggled in place in their secure pockets. So like that's basically what they did, you know. It probably it explains why there may not be as much just jiggle physics as there used to be. But okay, I'll even do the opposite end of the argument. Is that just an easy way to say that they didn't nerf her? Because visibly, all it is just like coding,
Right.
you know, in 3D modeling. So like, is there actual physics to where if you remove that shirt or sports bra that she's wearing, will it actually mean that they will expand? I don't know.
Okay, now, all right.
You know, like naturally on their own.
Right. So I actually read this article all the way through and through. So I think you'll find this really interesting.
Okay, go for it.
So they actually did. They made her breasts more, the way they put it, more restricted. So technically they did actually nerf it. And this is Square's words. And they said their reasoning for it was because
it's like their ethics department or something.
Exactly. The ethics department felt as though that with the way that the character is, because Tifa, I think she's a monk, right? Isn't she?
Yeah, she's a brawler.
Yeah, so she's more their logic behind it as well. She's a brawler, monk, and she's more athletic. So it wouldn't make sense for her to have like a giant bosom. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not the fact is not have that she has a giant bosom, but that the fact that they be hanging out like they were previously.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between that. That's saying that she physically can't have that when she totally can.
Well, they said that they said they didn't want her to be that way. So I'll read it to you. I'll read it to you. So Tetsuya Nomura, director on the remake, says that, and this is quote, "It was necessary to restrict her chest," end quote, as the developers wanted her to have more of an athletic feel. She's a fighter after all, and that likely means she has abs and is generally very fit.
Okay.
And so curiously, the translation floating around right now mentions that an ethics department determined that restricting Tifa's chest was done to make sure that she didn't look unnatural during fight sequences.
Well, okay, that can be, at least the way I interpret that, is that restricting them from movement.
Right.
So they can stay in place and still not get in the way of whatever she's doing. You know, in athletic build would mean, okay, I would need to use these tools to make sure, you know, other things can function properly. Just taking care of herself with athletic tools that she has at her disposal, and that would be, you know, a sports bra or whatever.
Well, and then also they did it to maintain a certain rating.
They have rating in there?
Yeah, so okay, here's another quote. It says, "In this case, we want a new generation of gamers to experience Final Fantasy VII Remake and are working very closely with the company's internal experts to make sure all of the game's content is appropriate."
Okay, that's a little bit... This even goes outside of titty and whatever.
Yeah.
Now, 7 originally is a dark game.
Right.
You know, it's very vibrant and colorful, but there are definitely themes and tones that are very horror-esque. So now that brings up other things that I'm like, I'm not as happy to hear about with that. Because like there's a whole scene, spoilers, haven't played this 20-year-old game, in the Shinra Tower, in the early parts of the game, when you break out of the prison inside the Shinra Tower.
Okay.
There's this whole scene to where like everyone has been massacred. Like you're like, okay, our jail cells are open. Who broke us out? And why is everyone dead? You like go through the hallways and you're like following literally a trail of blood, blood smeared across the walls, and you're following this all the way, this monstrosity, all the way to the top floor of where the president of Shinra Corporation lies dead with a giant katana in his back. So there's a lot of grotesque horror, body horror in 7, with the monster design,
right,
as well. And that's something that, to keep the same tone and atmosphere in these key pivotal scenes, some of them I would say would probably need to be M-rated. Now, if there's a way that they can keep the blood in there, and maybe rating system is just more lenient now, maybe they can show blood but not depict blood actually, being expelled from a person's body. Maybe there's some like leeway there. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure like officially how M rating works, but I know rated T for teen is kind of like the new PG-13.
But yeah, basically,
where like you can get away with a lot of stuff.
So yeah, so I'm like, I should, because like there is one thing that was quoted, like the wall market section, and that's where Cloud cross dresses,
right?
And you also have a brothel in there,
right.
So strippers, hookers, prostitutes.
That's still T rated though.
Huh?
That's still rated T for teen.
Really?
Yeah. So that I've actually seen on boxes before. It'll say T and then it'll say sexual themes.
Okay, so like, where does its sexual themes get pushed into M?
As far as like breasts and stuff like that?
Is it just nudity? I guess it was gonna be.
See,
that where you get hit with the.
That is interesting because it's like, from what I do know, I know that the higher you go up in rating, the more expensive it gets to actually get your game out there.
You mean as far as like publishing?
Yeah, publishing, yes. So like if everybody made like an E-rated game, they wouldn't have to pay as much to get their game published. But when your game is like T, or if it's M, the cost goes up exponentially. I'm not sure exact figures on that. It's definitely worth researching, but
I'm actually surprised because I feel like there's a whole lot more M-rated games now than when we were kids.
Well, also companies are making a lot more money than what they were. We were kids too.
Yeah, so I'm like, so I wouldn't even think that it would cost more because I see like there's over an abundance.
Yeah,
it feels like I feel like every big blockbuster game is rated M.
Well, it's weird because like back then during our day, M-rated games kind of made your sales not be as high.
Well, yeah, totally.
But today, if you have an M rating on your stuff, it's kind of like,
who cares?
Yeah, mostly who cares. But I think like probably once you and I got into like high school, I think it was cool to own an M-rated game.
Cool, and I just, this is from me working at Target, but parents don't care.
Yeah, parents just don't care. No, yeah.
I mean, there are some parents who are out on the up and up and are way more attentive. They're like, oh wait, what's this rated? Why is it rated that? Right. And they'll ask you, but not that's one out of 100.
Yeah.
Not many parents are actually checking up on that.
Right.
So that's why I'm like,
and so Square, like, it makes sense for them to really, really try hard to avoid the whole M rating thing, because I mean that might be an aspect of like their imaging, their public image, because typically Square is related to like more games that are for like kids and like young adults. I don't think they have a single M-rated game at all.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah.
What game?
It's Type 0.
Is Type 0 M-rated?
Yeah, it's M-rated.
Huh.
And actually, if we want to go old school, I think this one too, Parasite Eve.
Okay, yeah.
I think Parasite Eve is also M-rated.
Are there games that they just publish, or are they actually like You know what I'm
No,
saying?
that's them. They
That's them?
develop it and publish it and everything. That's their own game. And Type 0 is like basically a spin-off title for them.
Right.
You know,
Well,
that's
the way this guy said it in this article was he said that in this case we want a new generation of gamers to experience Final Fantasy VII Remake, yada 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 yada. So new generation meaning a younger audience.
I mean, a younger audience, but I guess how young are you? I don't think they're saying that they I don't know. I just they want to get the fans that I guess maybe they're trying to get the fans that when we were that age, when we were playing for the first time.
Them releasing this for if they're saying a new generation, that's like everybody that's like 13, 14, 15 because we're old. I mean, to these companies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're the old generation that they've been dealing with for like the past 20 years. Now they're trying to get a hold of this new market that, you know, don't have jobs yet, are still in like junior high or like just starting high school, that kind of generation. Get their first job working at like, you know, McDonald's or like in 10th grade, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But even then, I don't think it's the stuff that they're going to would potentially be exposed to in the game is nothing new that they haven't already seen.
Well, that's true, but maybe they don't want those things to be associated. Maybe there's something that we don't know. Like they may have some other projects coming up.
Well, some people would even say that, okay, well maybe it's Sony.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, Sony might be putting pressure on them to like be like, yo, fix them boobies, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Sony. Didn't they pull a lot of games? Like, there's some games that are made with Sony that are like more adult-like, but don't get released at all over here.
There's a whole censorship thing with Sony that people are getting all, for lack of a better term, getting their tits all in a bunch. So yeah, censorship with the anime games. You know, they're putting giant light rays to cover up all the girls' assets and everything.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm not even gonna play these games, so it doesn't even mess with me. But it's like, okay, it's like, why even censor them at that point? Because I mean, there's only one reason why people are buying them. You know, I mean, they're not playing it for the plot. They're playing it for the plot.
Yeah.
You know? So like at that point, like, why even censor it? Because like, we want to make sure it's family friendly. I don't think you can make that any more family friendly than it can be, you know?
Well, I mean, it's I think that is more so like maybe just principles that they have.
So I mean, I just don't put the game on your library, you know? At that point, if you're gonna censor it like that, just don't even sell it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, maybe you get the one person who didn't research, properly, and you were able to get them, and then they see it's like, oh crap, this is not what I want. Is there a non-censored version of this game? It's like, oh, it's on Nintendo. All right, let me go buy the Nintendo version. Maybe they'll get the straggler.
Right.
But it's like, really, are you gonna make that much money off of such a niche crowd anyway? Now, who knows? Maybe Sony just wants a certain image. Okay, that's a different conversation, and that could be how characters are depicted. Who knows? Maybe.
Well, and that's probably more of a, like I said before, it's like more of a personal thing with like their CEO.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't like to. Well, they fail to realize this, but those CEOs are like people. And they have like certain principles and values they live by. So like, I mean, if I were to ever own a gaming company or whatever, I really wouldn't want nudity in my games, like of any kind at all. Just because I feel like it takes away from just the art, and people would probably disagree with me, but that's my own personal thing. So yeah, I imagine the CEO of Sony, that may be his prerogative, where he's just like, you know what, I don't want none of that stuff in none of my games associated with Sony. So and Square may actually feel the same way. They might be like, yeah, we don't like dealing with sexual stuff in our games. Like, we try to keep it keep it as G-rated as possible, as far as sexual stuff goes.
Well, but okay, this is a slightly different argument because how I want to put it, because is it just sexual because she has boobs? I mean, there are people who have, you know, exercise double D's or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, are they automatically sexualized just because that's how their body is and that's how they were born?
Well, that is completely up to the person you ask.
Right.
So if you ask the CEO of Square, he might be like, well, yeah, or no, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, wouldn't that be sexist? You know what I mean?
In a weird way, you probably could spin that and say like, yeah, that is them being sexist in a way.
That's body shaming.
Yeah. Which is probably why this thing is trending on Twitter, because like some people may put their spin on it and feel that way about it.
And I feel like all this gets muddied in the insignificant parts of it, like, oh, I just want big boobs, like, because, you know, that's the fan base or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but I think there's a more important thing of not objectifying women just because they may have, you know, a bigger bust.
Well, here's the funny thing. I'll tell you what I thought about this article when I first read it.
Mm-hmm.
I read the whole thing. I was like, why in the hell does Square even open their mouth?
Right.
They're so stupid. They're freaking idiots. Why did they even address this? Like, they literally stuck their whole foot and just shoved it down their throat, because there is no right way to respond to this question. The only right thing to do is to just not respond to it.
Literally, you had everyone fine with it for the most part. The fans were holding down your foot, and you were like, nah, brah, give me my foot. I want to put that thing in my mouth.
Yeah.
They really forced themselves to do this.
Yep.
Everyone was fine. Everyone was happy.
Yep.
Everyone was. I was happy. She's fine. She looks great.
Yep. No problem. See, when I first read the title,
well, it's a clickbaity title, and
that's what made me think. I was like, okay, Square probably didn't say nothing, did they? And then I see these quotes, and I'm like, oh shit, bro, they screwed up, man. They actually did respond to this. Like, Polygon is actually just reporting on, hey, did you know Square told me this? And it's just like, they're just being idiots. They should have kept their mouth shut.
And I don't know. I mean, you may say that people are in denial, or maybe they don't want to believe it, but most people are in the camp of she hasn't been nerfed. You know, whatever you want to take that as it is. You know, they're just that restricting is just saying that there's not going to be jiggle physics on this thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to be as far as realistic as far as how breasts would operate if they were actually under a sports bra.
Yeah.
You know, and her bust is still huge.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, so like if you did remove that sucker, you might lose an eye. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I would love to get to a point where we don't even this shouldn't even be a conversation. But then
really should.
All comes down to, well, what about the male gaze? You know, you guys are just white knighting because you just get off on it or whatever. And it's like, no, I have two younger sisters who go through this exact same problem, and it's like, just because they may have a bigger bust does not mean that they're, you know, any less of a person, or they should be treated a certain way. You know, I
mean, personally, I would think that people with bigger bust sizes would be treated a lot better. Like, I feel like those are people that, like,
well, they're being treated quote unquote better in maybe inappropriate ways.
Well, I mean, does that really even like matter? Because like, and I'll go off on a little tangent here, not too far, but. And I'm sure you've probably experienced this too, where like there's been some girls that I've dated or like gotten involved with because I was black, because they fetishize the idea of being with a black guy, because, you know, to them, you know we know what we're doing in bed and blah blah blah, and we're well endowed and we're strong or whatever, and yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Maybe even dangerous, you know what I'm saying? It's that whole fetishizing thing. And I could sit here and tell you, yeah, man, that stuff makes me feel bad, blah blah blah, but that would be a damn lie. I'd be lying to you, like, extremely, if I told you that, like, I haven't, like, oh, I don't enjoy those things. I don't like the perks that come with that. So it's just like,
well, I mean, that's a little bit different for us.
I don't see how it's different.
Because on the other end of the spectrum, women they may not be taken seriously. I mean, yeah, they may get a lot of things just because of their appearance or whatever, but are they being treated like an actual person? Even with, I don't know, it's almost like, are they being belittled?
I don't think I don't think any woman's been belittled because she's had big breasts.
Or taken seriously?
Yeah, I don't think I've never seen that before. I've never even spoken to a woman that's even said that before. Only women, like the women I've seen that have big breasts, like, they love them and they're glad they have them, and it actually makes their lives a lot easier. Because there'll be some man or whatever that they can.
Oh yeah, they can totally manipulate if they really wanted to do that.
Maybe not even manipulate. Maybe he's just nicer to them because
she's
appealing to the eye. Which is like, I mean, not saying that he's like forcing a sexual encounter on her or anything like that. It's just like attractive people just have an easier time in the world currently. So if big boobs are in and they're attractive, I don't see how that's a negative at all.
And it shouldn't be.
Like right now, it's the best time in the world to be a black guy. As far as like the dating scene and all that kind of stuff is concerned, because like some of the biggest, celebrities are black. So it's just like, now I have a couple other complaints about how people feel about black people that's on the negative side, but as far as the positives, man, in the last 6-7 years, I've had the easiest time of dating in my entire life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
I just wish this wasn't an issue, because you will have, the NPCs saying that, no, this is an issue, but it's like, no, you're making an issue by bringing attention to it and just not letting it be. It shouldn't matter what size her bust is or isn't,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we shouldn't have to worry about that. That's the thing. Like, even leading up to the remake, that was like always the biggest question. Like, will she be nerfed or whatever? It's like, why was that the first thing that we thought of? It shouldn't. It just brings out negatives in our overall society in general. It's like, why do we care if she is a bit bigger? Or people were like, well, it's not realistic. Like, people are all different shapes and builds. Just because you're not insecure with you're insecure about yourself, and now you're going to project that onto other people just because out of jealousy, spite,
right?
Well,
I think I think it just comes down to just, man, topics like that, they get clicks, they get views, they put money in people's pockets, you know what I'm saying? So people they find whatever angle they can to just kind of
spin it
and get more clicks and views and money. I think that's what it all comes down to, man. I don't really think this is some kind of people are actually offended, because on that article in particular, I scrolled down and read the comments, there's actually quite a few comments on it. Everybody's like, they basically feel how we feel, like, who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Why is this even an issue? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think the real ones know, bro.
Yeah. And journalism is a minority anyway. It just sucks that companies are listening to the journalistic minorities.
Square just happened to get roped into it because it's Polygon, man. They just couldn't deny him. Polygon just roped him in.
All right.
But man, I think we made good time,
All right.
You got any final words you want to say about E3 and everything, or what you got going on, anything like that?
E3 was lit. E3 was fire. Best E3 of all time.
Yeah.
It was the best. I don't want to end up on a low note. I don't want to end up on a downer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, Microsoft was amazing.
Yep.
Square was amazing. You know, Nintendo was amazing.
Cool. Let me see. Final words for me. Man, gaming is back, boys. It's back. It's been dead for a while, but like, even talking with some old friends that were just pretty much done with all new video games, they seem to be coming back around. So I'm here. I'm for it. It seems like video games are the move again.
2020 gonna be lit.
It's gonna be
amazing.
Man. Hopefully, I mean, you gotta see what the prices look like on the consoles first. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness! No, you were supposed to end on a high note.
Oh, all right, Mr. Kehda, you got some plugs for us, man?
You know, it's the same old.
No, man, plug it up, dog. Plug it up. Go ahead and write it down.
YouTube.
Yep.
Kehda Mercer. Kehda space Mercer. Kehda Mercer at YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll let your boy.
You got any projects in the works on YouTube? Anything you're working
on? Oh, we're working on Persona videos and Final Fantasy videos. I'm gonna start doing more Final Fantasy stuff too. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool. Not trying to spoil too much. I understand. I
know. You be there when it's ready.
Okay.
Please look forward to it.
All right. My name is Black Impact. Catch me on YouTube. That's BLVCK_impact. Little announcement. So, our podcast is actually now available on Stitcher, Radio Public,
let's get it,
Pocket Cast,
fam,
Breaker,
sup,
Google Podcasts.
Oh, we in here.
And Anchor.
That's how it is, boys.
So, if you want to still listen to the podcast and you don't want to, be dealing with YouTube Red when you're in the car, you can catch your boys on some of your
free trial.
Yeah, catch your boys on some of your bigger podcasting platforms. So we're expanding our horizons, man. We're jumping out of there. So by the time you guys actually hear this and it's uploaded to YouTube, those links will already be available. And
sharing the love.
Yeah, man. Next podcast we got some sponsorships coming up. So
what?
We got the hookup, man. We're getting smart. Getting a little, it's just we're stretching it out a little bit,
Little something for you guys.
Yeah. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe.
All the things. Subscribe to all the things.
Subscribe to all the things, man.
Watch every video like 10 more times, even though you saw it already.
Yeah. Do you think on the next one we'll do a special guest? I think the next one we might be ready for that, actually.
Maybe.
I know we had some stuff going on. Like, both of us had some stuff going on these past few weeks, so it was kind of hard to lock that in.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be bad to get a few people, someone on here, because I think all our friends are going to be messing with that Shadowbringers next week.
Yeah, and that's going to be probably the main thing for that. The next podcast coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's going to be all Shadowbringers.
All Shadowbringers. It's probably just be a Shadowbringers podcast.
Yeah, 100%. So
probably.
I definitely say keep it locked for that, and we'll get some people and get some. We'll just get some raw opinions that just aren't ours. We'll get another person. It'll be lit.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Bounce off the ideas. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Just hopefully that I'm actually taking the time to do the podcast and not playing.
Oh, no. It'll be good, man. We'll work it out.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Me too. All right, fam. That's it.
Catch you later, fam.
Peace.